Chalo, so in the previous class, I had asked a question, and that was, how would you know? How would the microprocessor know that you have given a command to change the speed? Correct? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so who has come up with the answer? Navneet, what is the answer?
Sir, I think that there is a tap changer in locomotive
Hmm.
which control the
Okay,
feeding of amount of electricity in traction motor, and
okay, just a
there is
minute.
IGBT based traction converter which convert
IGBT
IGBT based traction converter, sir,
traction converter. Okay,
which convert
ठीक है,
single phase fixed frequency to three
ठीक,
phase variable
ठीक.
frequency.
Okay, Abhishek, Rohit, what is your answer?
In microprocessor, there is a ALU unit which have the input and output connection over there, and that would connect the through the machine, and they communicate with machine language in it. Through the machine language, we used to control that.
Okay, but how does the microprocessor know that you want to change the speed?
So we give the command, and that command will convert into the machine language.
Okay, how do you give the command? That is the question.
Uh,
Sir. Hello.
Yes, you are ready.
After speed converted to electric quantity from this analog to digital converter and
After
digital to
speed
converter,
converted to after speed converted to electrical quantity, then
then sampling the
hmm,
electric
hmm,
quantity.
hmm,
After then analog convert the analog to digital.
convert the
Hello.
analog to
Digital form.
ठीक है.
This digital form is given to the microprocessor.
Okay, okay. Anyone else? Okay, so
Sir,
what? Hmm, yes,
sir, we need an analog to digital converter, and that will convert the analog input to digital output, and the digital output will be fed to microcontroller,
correct.
and that's
That
how the microcontroller will know
is the right
the,
answer.
the
Both Shiva
interface.
Reddy and Suman Karmakar. That is the right answer. You need a ADC converter, analog to digital converter, that will convert the speed or the change in the speed into a digital quantity. The reference speed basically will be converted into a digital quantity and fed to the microprocessor. Okay.
Sir,
Basic. Yes, Shiva.
microprocessor only understand the 0 or 1 data so that we are
Yes,
converted to the digital form.
yes. We have converted into a digital form. Okay. Basically, what is happening is it is a sort of on the input side, you have a constant DC voltage. Okay. And then you have a resistor, and on the resistor, you have a slider. And the output of this slider goes to the ADC. So when you are changing the speed, what you are changing is the position of this slider. Am I clear? Hmm? In the class,
Yes, sir.
uh, I could have very easily shown all this, but let me see if I have just a minute. ठीक है. Can you see the screen? Sumit, is my screen visible?
Yeah,
yes, sir.
yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, so you have this sort of a resistor on this side. Okay, here you have a fixed DC voltage. Okay, so here you will have a fixed DC voltage, and here you have a slider. Okay, is it visible? Now it is visible.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this side you have a fixed DC voltage, a resistor, and here you have a slider. So in the train, there is a mechanism for changing the speed. The driver has a sort of pedal in his hand, which he changes to change the speed. So when he's moving that pedal, basically he's moving this slider. And the output of this slider, that is going to the input of the analog to digital controller. And that is your reference speed. That reference speed will be compared with the actual speed. And then it will be fed back to the, or the error signal will be given to the control unit. Okay. So in the previous class, we had seen what is drives. I think I had shown a block diagram. Correct?
Yes, sir.
In which we had a source, we had a power modulator. We had seen what is the function of the power modulator. Did we see that? There was a control unit. There was a sensing unit. है ना? Okay, I want someone to tell me what are the advantages of electrical drives. Are electrical drives the only option available? Yes or no?
No, sir. No, sir.
We have a number of options. We can have electrical drives, we can have hydraulic drives, we can have pneumatic drives and all those things. Okay, but the most widely used drives are electrical drives. Okay. So what are the advantages of electrical drives as compared to the other drives? Anyone?
Having the range of you can say power or torque is, to control the speed. In electrical
Yes.
in machine drive we have various range, large range is there.
Correct. They are available in a wide range of torque, speed, and power. Acha, before we go that, Navneet had given an answer that tap changer thing. है ना? Or electric train has a tap changer. There is a tap changer, but you will not change the tap for changing the speed. Okay, Navneet?
Okay, sir.
Those tap changers are not to be used again and again. They are for what do you say, broad control, है ना? And for the finer control, you will go for the microprocessor. Okay? The tap changer is has a limited life cycle as compared to the microprocessor in terms of how many times you can operate the tap changer. Okay? So the tap changer is not to be changed. The control is through the microcontroller. Okay, so coming back to advantages of electrical drives, one advantage is that they're available in a wide range of torque, speed, and power. Any other advantages?
So
Sir,
efficiency.
can be controlled remotely. Sir.
Yes.
Remotely vehicle
So
control.
first I'll discuss about the efficiency. Of course, they are so popular because of the efficiency.
High efficiency, sir.
They have very high efficiency, very low no load losses, and considerable short time overloading capability. Okay? They can be overloaded for half an hour, even for 1 hour. Yes or no? Can they be overloaded? What happens if you overload it? You have a motor and you overload it. What will happen?
Sir, windings are due to high current. Windings are burned.
Yes, it will burn out, but uh, it will take time to burn out. Means there is a short time rating of the motor, a full time rating and a short time rating. Suppose the rated motor is rated at 10 HP, but you are not operating it continuously, you are operating it only for half an hour. If you are operating it only for half an hour, you can even go above 10 HP. Okay? I think you must have studied this in BTech, short time rating of a motor. Have you studied? Anyone? No one. Nobody has studied. Okay. So there is a research for this on the internet. Short time rating of an electrical motor. Okay. You can have different short time ratings, half hour, 1 hour, and all those things. Okay. So electrical motors have considerable short time overloading capability. They also have longer life, lower noise, lower maintenance requirements, and cleaner operation. Pollution is less. Okay? And the pollution is on the power plant side, not on the consumption side or the motor side. They do not pollute the environment. Any other advantages?
Excellent speed control.
Yes, they have flexible control characteristics. Okay? You can change the characteristics of the motor by using electrical drives. Any other advantages? How many quadrants they can operate in?
So four.
All four quadrants. All four quadrants of what?
Sir, forward motor.
One at a time. Ravi Naik, all four quadrants of?
Fourth quadrant is motoring, braking, reversal speed, sir.
No, of which plane I'm asking? All four quadrants of which plane?
Torque versus omega.
Motoring
Torque
and
versus
braking.
omega.
All four
Motoring
quadrants
and
of the
Torque
speed torque plane.
motoring and braking operation.
ठीक है. All four quadrants of the speed torque plane. What are the four quadrants? First quadrant is forward motoring. Second quadrant is forward braking. Third quadrant is reverse motoring, and fourth quadrant is reverse braking. Okay? If you are taking speed on the y-axis. If you are taking speed on the x-axis, then first quadrant forward motoring, fourth quadrant forward braking, third quadrant reverse motoring, and second quadrant is reverse braking. Okay, so they can operate in all the four quadrants of the speed torque plane. One more advantage is that there is no need to refuel or warm up the motor. Earlier engines, when I was small, before you were born, when I was small, engines had to be heated up because the engines used were steam engines. Now there is no need for warming up the motor. Instantly you can start and stop the motors. Okay? Let us now come to yes, Abhishek.
They can also act as a source of power.
Yes, in case of electrical drives, you can feed power back to the source, which is not possible in the case of mechanical drives. Excess power, if any, or if the load is providing power, that power has to be dissipated in case of other drives. However, in case of electrical drives, it is possible to feed power back to the source. ठीक है.
Regenerative braking.
Yes, regenerative braking. Okay, now we are going to have a detailed discussion on parts of electrical drives. How many are present? 18. So apart from me, 17 of you are present. 4209, has he joined? Aditya Prakash. 4215. Vikram. 4219. Jairam. Jairam has joined, I think. है ना?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. अच्छा, one more thing I want to make clear. Nobody calls me before 9 o'clock in the morning. ठीक है? Is this clear? Nobody calls me before 9 o'clock in the morning. One of you called me at 7:30 in the morning today, asking me how to install Google Meet. So don't do that again. And the funny thing is that person is not in the class. So I don't know why there was so much urgency. ठीक है. So now a detailed discussion on parts of electrical drives, starting with electric motors. Okay, what are the three main motors? Who will answer? Abhishek Maji. What are the three main motors that are used in electrical drives?
Sir, DC motor, induction motor,
And
sir, and synchronous.
yes, DC
Sir,
motor,
third
induction
one.
motor, and synchronous motor. ठीक है? ठीक है, Abhishek. Mute yourself. These are the three main motors even till now. There are other motors also, reluctance motors. All those motors are available, but there are serious limitations on their power rating. Okay? They are being improved, and once there might come a time when they will be widely used. But till now, the main motors, especially for high power applications, are DC motors, induction motors, and synchronous motors. Out of these three motors, which motor is the best? Panag.
Sir, induction motor. Induction motor, sir.
Which motor is the best? Navneet.
Sir, for higher power rating, induction motor, and for good speed control, DC machine, DC motor.
Jairam, which motor is the best?
Sir, induction motor, I think. Induction motor, sir. Based
Kalyani.
on industrial applications.
Kalyani, which motor is the best?
Hello.
Let Kalyani answer first, Shiva, then I'll come to you. Kalyani, which motor is the best? No, your voice is breaking. Shiva?
Sir, DC motor, sir. In DC motor, we can control speed wide range flexibly.
Suman, which motor is the best?
So induction motor.
Vikas?
Sir, induction motor, sir.
Okay.
Hello.
Yes, I could hear you.
Yes, sir. I think induction motor, sir.
Okay. So what is the right answer, Sumit?
So induction motor. Sir, yeah.
So I think induction motor.
ठीक है. Somebody wants to say something, I think.
Based on the application, the motor is available for different range. I think all these motor are based on the application.
That is the right answer. There is no such thing as a best motor. Which motor is the best? The answer is it depends on the applications. Every motor is suited for different applications. Okay, this clear? There is no such thing as the best motor. Every motor has its specific applications. I think you all know what are the different types of motors. है ना? DC motors, what are the different types? One is the DC, or the broad classification of DC motors is separately excited and self-excited. Correct? In case of self-excited motors, you have shunt motors, series motors, and compound motors. Induction motors, they are classified on the basis of their rotor. You either have a squirrel cage induction motor or a wound rotor induction motor. Also, there is a linear induction motor, but we will not come, that will not be a part of our syllabus. After that, we have synchronous motors. In synchronous motors, you can have either wound field synchronous motors or permanent magnet DC or permanent magnet synchronous motors, PMSM. Depending on the rotor of the synchronous motor, they can again be classified as cylindrical rotor synchronous motor or silent pole synchronous motor. There are other types of motors also, such as brushless DC motors, stepper motors, switched reluctance motors, which are used for specific applications. But as I said earlier, and there are serious limitations on their power ratings. Okay, so which motor do you use in which application? Where do you use DC motor? Or where do you use induction motor? Let us start with the induction motor. What are the advantages of induction motor over the other motors?
The induction motor has higher lifetime than other motors.
Longer lifetime as compared to the other motors because
sir, no brush is used.
Because there are no brushes. Okay, one at a time. One at a time. Because there are no brushes in the induction motor, it has a longer lifetime. Also, there is less maintenance. Also, because there are no brushes, you can draw higher amount of current from the motor without any sparking. And you can draw higher amount of current, or you can provide larger amount of current without any sparking. So induction motors are available for higher power ratings. Okay, those are the advantages because they don't have any brushes. Okay, next.
Sir, having regenerative feature.
Having regenerative feature. Induction motor very difficult to have regeneration because the rotor speed has to become greater than the synchronous speed. So if you have a fixed frequency supply, it is very difficult to have regenerative braking from induction motor. However, if you have a variable frequency supply, then regenerative braking is possible. But regenerative braking is possible in all the three motors. That is not an advantage over the other two motors. Next.
So they are self-starting.
They are self-starting. Okay. You don't need a separate starter. Yes, that is a good advantage. Anyone else?
Low maintenance cost.
A good
Yes.
power
Sir, high
factor.
starting torque.
High starting torque, higher torque to weight ratio. Okay, they don't have a good starting torque, especially if the motor is squirrel cage, the starting torque is poor. Good starting torque is obtained if you have a wound rotor induction motor and you are inserting external resistance in the rotor circuit, or if you have a double cage induction motor, then the starting torque is good. Normal squirrel cage induction motor, the starting torque is not that good. Okay, next. Akhilesh.
Low maintenance cost. Induction motor.
A good power factor.
Achha, Badal, I'll come back to that. Akhilesh, speak a little louder.
Sir, low maintenance cost.
No, I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Badal, good power factor.
Yes, sir.
No, they don't have a good power factor. Apart from that, the power factor is always lagging. Especially the no load power factor is very, very poor in case of induction motor. Okay?
It's a loaded condition. It has 0.8 to 0.85.
Around 0.8. Around 0.8, 0.85. But you can have better power factor if you are using a synchronous motor. Okay? You can even have leading power factor if you are using a synchronous motor, which is not possible in case of induction motor. One more advantage of induction motor is that they have a very high torque to weight ratio as compared to the other motors. Higher torque to weight ratio. Okay, they are cheaper as compared to the other motors. Also because there are no brushes, no commutator windings, so their volume, weight are lower. Okay. The major reason for the popularity of induction motors is that they are very robust in construction. Their maintenance requirements are very, very less. Their cost is less. Operating cost is also less as compared to the other motors. Okay, so these are the advantages of induction motors, because of which they are so widely used. Okay, is this clear to everyone? Yes, Samir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, because the induction motors have so many advantages, why are they not used everywhere? Do you know what is the percentage of use of induction motors in the industry? How many motors in the industry are induction motors? Anyone? Around how
Around
much?
95%. 95%.
No. We want it to be 95%, but it is not 95%. It is around 70%. Okay? Why only 70? Why not 95? What are the drawbacks of the induction motor because of which we have to look towards other motors?
The speed control is difficult for induction motor.
Yes, speed control is very difficult in case of induction motors. Earlier, it was not possible also. Okay, now because of power electronics, you can have speed control. Okay, but we'll come to that later. Right now, we assume that there is no power electronics. So, speed control of an induction motor is very, very difficult. You must have studied some methods of speed control of induction motor in your undergraduate course, but all those speed control methods give variation of speed in a very small range. Okay? If you want speed control over a wide range, induction motors are not a good option. Okay? Is this clear? The reason for this is, out of the three motors that we are discussing, the induction motor is the only one which is singly excited. Okay? It is a singly excited machine. That means there is only one supply. The other two have two supplies. Okay. So because of this speed control problem, around 20% of the applications use DC motors. Now, DC motors have a number of disadvantages. What are the disadvantages of DC motors?
So maintenance.
Maintenance is high because you have brushes. Next.
Communication problems.
So low
Formation
power.
of Shiva, formation of
Commutation is the commutation problem.
Commutation problem is there, and because commutation is basically brushes are moving on a commutator, so there is a sparking issue there, and because of this sparking issue, there is a limit to how much current can be provided to the DC motor. Okay, there is a limit on the power rating of the DC motor. Also, because of this commutation and sparking issue, you cannot use the DC motor in explosive environments. And explosive and contaminated environments. There are restrictions on maximum voltage, speed, and power ratings, frequent maintenance. Because of this commutator, you have higher cost, higher weight, higher volume as compared to the induction motor. Okay? Any other disadvantages of the DC motor?
Sir, if we go for higher ratings,
Sir,
if we go for higher ratings, then it becomes more costly as compared to induction motors.
Yes, you cannot even. In fact, after a point, you don't have higher rated DC motors.
So we need to change the brushes after every some interval of times.
Yes, need for frequent maintenance. Okay, so these are the problems with DC motors, but still DC motors are used whenever you require variable speed. Speed control of DC motor is very, very easy. And why it is so easy? Anyone?
So smooth speed control is possible in case of DC motors.
Yes, why it is possible? Why it is possible?
So we can change the voltage of field winding, and we can control the we can control the speed of the DC motor.
Okay, that is close. The answer is that you can independently control the armature and field windings, or you can independently control the armature flux and the field flux. Okay, that is why speed control of DC motor is so easy. Induction motor, being a singly excited machine, all the power is coming from a single supply. The same supply is responsible for the armature field as well as the armature flux as well as the field flux. Okay? However, a theory was developed that is called as field-oriented control. FOC. Yes or no? Nobody has heard about FOC? Okay. Research. Research on Wikipedia. What is FOC? So this field-oriented control, it imparted similar characteristics to the induction motor. In field-oriented control, you are again controlling the armature flux and the field flux separately. Okay? So coming back to the DC motor, because the armature flux and the field flux are independent of each other, it is very easy to control the speed of a DC motor. Check. Any questions?
Sir, FOC for induction motors?
Yes, FOC is used for induction motor. So around 70% induction motor, around 20% DC motors, and then the remaining for synchronous motors. Why synchronous motors? Where do you use synchronous motor?
So it can supply reactive power.
It can supply reactive power.
To improve power factor.
Constant speed.
Constant speed. Wherever you require constant speed, exactly constant speed. Even induction motor, if you don't change the frequency, the speed is more or less constant. Okay? But if you want, but still induction motor, DC shunt motor have slightly drooping characteristic. When you increase the load, the speed will decrease slightly. But if you want exactly constant speed, then you have to go for synchronous motor. What are the other advantages of synchronous motor which make it appealing?
So ability to control the power factor.
Yes, ability to control the power factor, and you can even have leading power factor, which is not possible in case of an induction motor. An induction motor will always operate at lagging power factor. However, yes, Sumit?
Yes, sir. That I have told that ability to control the power factor. It will have a leading power factor.
Yes. It also has a higher full load efficiency as compared to the induction motor.
Yes, sir.
Sumit, mute yourself. Okay, it
Sir?
also has a higher full load efficiency. Yes.
Sir, what is the advantage of operating at leading power factor?
Advantage of operating at leading power factor is that suppose you have 8 induction motors in your plant, all operating at lagging power factor. Okay? Then if you connect one synchronous motor and you operate it at leading power factor, then it will compensate for the lagging power factors. Okay, this clear? I'll show you a diagram once again. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so suppose this is the supply line. These are the supply lines. Here there is a generator that is providing the power. And here you have here you connect a load. And the load is, let us say, inductive. Now what is the problem here? Okay, the load has resistance as well as inductance. So because the load is inductive, it requires both active power as well as reactive power. Now both these powers, active as well as reactive, have to be provided by the supply. Okay, is this clear? And these are your transmission lines. Now these transmission lines have to handle the active current as well as the reactive current, because of which the magnitude of current increases, the power losses will increase. Okay, and your meter is reading only the active power. You are telling the company only how much active power you need. I want 10 kilowatt power. You are not saying anything about the reactive power. But because your load is reactive, your source power rating has to be increased. Okay, to handle the higher value of current. So what is the solution here? The solution here is you can connect a capacitor here. Now what will happen? If you properly adjust the capacitor, the amount of lagging current required by this inductor and the amount of leading current required by this capacitor will cancel themselves out, so that you take only the active power from the supply, and the reactive powers here will adjust themselves. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
So suppose you have 8 induction motors drawing lagging current. You can connect one synchronous motor drawing leading current, so that you adjust the power factor here. Okay. Simply having induction motor operating leading current is a problem, but if you are compensating, then it is a solution. Okay. So that is the advantage of operating the synchronous motor at leading power factor. Majority of the loads operate at lagging power factor, so this slightly compensates for the power factor. Higher power, when you go for very high power, megawatt range, you will find that synchronous motor is preferred over the induction motor. Okay? If you go for the megawatt range, you will not find any DC motors there. You will find induction motors and synchronous motors. Abhishek, yes.
Sir, for compensation of power, we can use either synchronous motor or a capacitor, right?
Yes.
And
yes.
Capacitor is very much less cost as compared to synchronous motor. Then why we prefer synchronous motor over the capacitor?
No, we do not prefer the synchronous motor over the capacitor. We do not use synchronous motor for power factor correction. But if we have to connect a motor, we have 8 induction motors and we need one more motor, which is required to operate at constant speed, then it is better to go for synchronous motor. Okay, is this clear?
Okay.
You will not buy synchronous motor because you want power factor correction. No. But if you need one more motor and you are required to operate that motor at constant speed, then you will go for synchronous motor. Okay? Even after having 8 induction motors and 1 synchronous motor, you will still require a power factor correction unit. Okay? So what I was saying, in the megawatt range, the synchronous motor is preferred over the induction motor. Why?
Sir, higher efficiency of synchronous.
Yes, higher efficiency. That is one reason. You can operate it at close to unity power factor. At megawatt range, imagine the amount of reactive current that is required. Okay, so you can operate it close to unity power factor. That is the second reason. Third reason,
Power output more. Kilowatt output is more.
no, Achilles, we can't hear you.
So the power output is more for same duty. Means same. Power output.
So
So
as
I'll put
their,
Sumit.
as their efficiency is high, that's why.
ठीक है, so I'll give this as an assignment for the next class. Suppose you have let us say 20 megawatt, you require a 20 megawatt motor. What will you prefer, induction motor or synchronous motor? I am saying synchronous motor because first, higher efficiency, second, power factor can be controlled, but there is also a one third reason which is very, very important. Okay? And which is actually the reason why you are using synchronous motor. So what is that third reason? You have to find. Shiva, yes.
We can control the speed wide range in a synchronous machine also by changing the frequency supply.
So, but by changing the frequency, you can control speed of induction motor as well. So in this case, that is not an advantage.
Wide.
Yes, Shiva, yes.
Having more air gap in synchronous motor.
Sir, stability
mechanically stable, sir.
Stability is more.
No.
The better heat transfer.
So I am giving you this as an assignment. What are the reasons why you would prefer synchronous motor over induction motor at very high power ratings, megawatt range? Okay? This
Sir,
clear?
induction motor is active power is more, sir.
Is the question clear?
Yes.
Write the question. Why synchronous motor is preferred over induction motor at very high powers? Bracket में in the megawatt range. Okay?
So loss
And
due
this answer you will give me in the next class on Monday.
Okay, sir.
Okay?
Okay, sir.